Hey guys, today we're talking about ballet and toxic. I think these two things go actually really well together. That's why I decided this to be my topic for my first YouTube video. So, who I am and why do I think I can speak on that topic? Well, my name is Anton, and for the past 10 years, I have been part of this community of this ballet world, non professionally and professionally. So that's why I think I have enough experience and I think I have what to say about this topic. So, let me take you on my personal journey with ballet and dance. So I started dancing when I was around 7 years old, but I started with Bulgarian folklore dance. And then when I was around 12, then I started doing ballet. I started taking ballet classes in this dance studio here in Sofia. It was really fun. I was having a great time. Though one time I peed in front of the studio because I couldn't find the bathroom. And there might be a few times that I have cried in the classes, but the rest was pretty fun. And then when I was around 13, I decided that I want to do it more professionally. So I auditioned and I got accepted into this small private ballet school in Brussels. So when I was 14, I moved to Brussels. I was there for 2 years, and then when I was 16, I got accepted to the Ballettschule Theater Basel in Switzerland. And I stayed there for 3 years and I graduated there. Then I was an apprentice with a company in Hungary for a few months. It didn't go so well. And then I finally got my first official contract with a ballet company in Poland, where I stayed 2 seasons. And then I moved back home to Sofia in Bulgaria. And then for the past 2 seasons, I've been dancing here with a company in Sofia. So that's my journey with ballet and what I have been through until now. Now let's get into the topic. Is ballet really that toxic, and why do I think it is, or why I don't think it is? I mean, I do think it is in a way. So I think the biggest problem in this community is the communication between people. I think often people are coming to you with this idea that you have to have the respect towards them, but then it's not really the same vibe towards me or the other people in the space. And I find this kind of toxic because I get it and I will show respect towards you because you're the teacher, you're the boss of the company. It's fine, but I think it should be a two-way situation. Like the way I'm showing respect to you and I'm talking to you in a certain way, then you should have that towards me as well. Because as important as their role is, I think as important is also the role of the dancer or the student in this space. And I think this sometimes it's missing, like the respect towards us as well. And then the communication gets really toxic because the way that they're speaking to us, the way they're screaming sometimes to us, it doesn't show the respect that they are expecting us to show to them. So that's the first thing that kind of bothers me sometimes. Another really toxic thing, and probably the most famous toxic thing about the dance world, is of course with our bodies and the way we look. So that's very specific for everybody. It also really depends where you are, in which country, which part of the world you're in. But my experience, it's quite toxic. I think people are really never satisfied with the way dancers look. There is always something to improve. And fair enough. I think that's not the total issue. I think the issue is again coming with the communication and the way that people are coming up with these subjects and talking about them. It happens a lot that these type of subjects connect to body and the way that we look are brought up front of a lot of people. Like can be in the middle of rehearsal, middle of class, and then the teacher sometimes will just stop the music and be like, "Oh, you Tatiana, I see you got few kilos up, tomorrow come to the studio and be 5 kilos less." Or Emanuele, you're too skinny. To leave the girls, you need to have more muscles. And sometimes comments like this are made front of the entire studio, and I think sometimes that is not nice. Like, if I'm a person and I have deal with that, and I think still am going through it, if you're in a stage of mind that you're already not feeling super nice about yourself, when it's brought up front of the whole studio, it doesn't make the situation better, not at all. So I think we should talk about these things, like the way that we look. We should try to improve maybe the way we look, and wanting to get more muscles or wanting to get more fit, and that's all fine, but we should do it in a healthy way. And I think the way that people talk about that with us should be also in a nice way. Like maybe call me to the office, let's talk about it, say we are a bit worried about you, we really want you to get more in shape but in a healthy way, so let's think together what can we do about it. And that's not really how it happens. They normally scream at you, they want from you to change from today to tomorrow because the choreographer came and didn't like how you look, so tomorrow you need to be a completely new dancer. And that is not possible, and it's not healthy if somebody tries to do that. Like, I had friends around me who had eating disorders, and I think the people around knew what was happening with these people, but they were not taking any actions towards it because they were kind of liking the results that they were getting because these people were getting skinnier. So that's why some other people didn't do anything about it because they were liking the results out of it. And that's also really toxic. Another really toxic thing, in my opinion, in our small or not so small world, the ballet world or the dance world, in my opinion, it is the atmosphere that is in the studio and with your coworkers and other dancers. And it's again maybe coming a bit to communication issues and things like this, but in general what we do is something really competitive. Like, we're always in some sort of competition for a role, or a new choreographer comes to the company and we have to do our audition to see who is going to be participating in his piece. And there's always this kind of atmosphere around sometimes that, you're trying your best, you want to be better than somebody else for you to get the role and everything, which it's again fine in a certain level. But then people get jealous. uh, People don't like sometimes the decision that the choreographer or the director makes, even though it's their decision. It's not my fault, they chose me and not you, or the other way around. That's what the choreographer have decided, so we follow it. But sometimes that can build really a lot of tension. Sometimes also it has happened to me that I join a company and there is a free spot for a role and it's given to me, and then some other people that have been longer in the company would think that maybe they should be doing that role, and then there is some tension, there's talking about it and things like this, like making the drama. And I'm like, in the end of the day, I just came here, the choreographer has decided that they want me to do that part, or so it's not my fault. So I don't know why we need to be so dramatic about it and building all this tension. And in the end of the day, like, if you have a problem with it, maybe go to the choreographer. Don't be shady about it with me or talk about behind my back and things like this. It's not nice. Also, what we do, it's a really, we work as a team all the time, and it's really important that I think the atmosphere in the company, it's nice and everybody's kind of getting along. You don't have to be best friends with everybody, but like just getting along, because I think it's really important. And you can really see when in the company, for example, there's some tension between the people. You can see that in the studio when you're working, and it's not nice. Like, and I'm sure that happens in another working places as well, just maybe in a different way. But at the same time, we're not doing the type of work that you sit on your computer, you have your task, and it's kind of, you're in the computer and okay, maybe you have to make some calls to do with people and stuff. But what we do is really, like, it's a teamwork. Like, you have to work together to get to the result, and sometimes not that easy and can get really toxic. And people can be mean in the dance world, again, like the way you look, the way you dress, how many periods did you do today. Like, in general, like, if somebody doesn't like you because they're jealous of you or because of some other reason, they can be really shady about it and like really make you feel bad. Because I think dancers, we are already, most of us already have some type of insecurities. It's either the body, or maybe you don't have the good fit, the lines, you're not so flexible, something. I think everybody has something. So then when somebody doesn't like you, it's really easy for them to know what that thing is and to go after it and to make you feel even worse. And that is toxic. I've been through that. Like, I had one classmate, and every time he had an amazing adagio, okay? Like, his legs, like, crazy, like, gorgeous. And all the time, when we would turn to the left side, we would somehow ended up face to face because he was on the other bar. And when we turned, and my adagio, especially on the left, not great, let me tell you. And he would always, he has his leg here and give me this like type of look, and I will be like, okay, like you win, what can I do? But it's not all negative, okay? Like there's a lot of positive things about ballet as well, I think, and I know. The one thing that I've really taken from my experiences through the ballet schools and working in the company and everything is the discipline. Like, especially my teacher in Switzerland, he really taught me a lot about discipline and how I should behave. And I'm so grateful for that because it's not only helpful in work environment but also outside, just to know how to behave, how to show respect, how to be on time, to be really organized and everything. And you can really see it like when you meet a person that has the discipline and everything, it really makes a great impression. Like, I've met people who haven't really been in the ballet schools and their way of thinking is a bit different, and like sometimes it's not really a positive thing. Like, so that's something I'm really grateful for, the discipline that ballet taught me and all that, like to be organized, to be on time, to show respect. Amazing, like that's something really nice. Of course, also like I really like that through ballet and through my time in school, especially in Switzerland, we also had a class that was teaching us about nutrition, about regeneration, how to recover after an injury, and so on. So you start knowing more about your body and how to take care of it. So that's really nice. Are things changing? I think they are, maybe quite slow, but they are. Again, as I said in the beginning, it really depends where are you, in which part of the world, which country, what's the mindset there. I think in some countries like Germany, the Netherlands, and more for sure, um, the whole idea of the ballet world is changing. I think it's also changing the way that choreographers, directors of companies, teachers are looking at the bodies of the dancers. I think we see much more diversity than a few years ago, so that's really nice. And I think a big part of this change is because nowadays through social media more and more people are talking about the issues that we have in the dance world and what needs to change and so on. So more and more people now know about the problems and the issues that we have, and also through the media and newspapers and so on, sometimes I know cases of people who have spoken to the news about what's going on at schools or in companies, and then things really change and some actions are taking towards a better and more healthy environment, because a lot of people struggle with mental health, definitely in this ballet world. And I know a lot of people who quit because they got to a point that they just couldn't take it anymore and they value their mental health more than their love for dance. Also because most kids, when we join a professional ballet school, we come from these non-professional dance studios that we were going maybe 2 or 3 times a week, that was more for fun. And we have all this love for this art form and it was fun and everything, and there was not that much pressure. And then suddenly you go into the ballet school and everything is different. It's not just about having fun, it's about you becoming a professional dancer, you getting the contract in a few years, you getting skinnier, you that and you that and you that, for you to be this so professional dancer. Or I don't know, sometimes that takes away the joy from a lot of people, and they don't have the love anymore for the art form. And I know many people that also quit dancing professionally. Maybe they start studying and something like that, and maybe after a few years they come back to dancing, maybe not professionally but just taking ballet classes and so on, and they fell in love again with the art form, which is beautiful. So yeah, definitely I think that also being part of the professional world can be really hard, and sometimes that really takes away the love that you had in the beginning. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this topic. I mean, probably I have much more to say about it, but yeah, I think for now it's enough. I hope this video was interesting, so let me know in the comments. Also, I'm beginning a new journey in my life. How exciting! But in few weeks I'll be jobless. I'm leaving the current company I'm working for, and I'm getting on the freelancer train. So I'm excited to see how that journey is gonna go. I have some projects coming up. So also, if that's interesting for you to follow my journey as a freelancer and the projects I'll be doing and things like this, please subscribe, because I think interesting things are coming. I have some traveling coming up also in the coming months. I also have my piece as a choreographer that we're going on tour with, and I think that's gonna be really interesting and exciting as well. So yeah, if you like my vibe, if you think I'm cool, even a bit, and if you're interested in the topics that I just mentioned that are coming up in the next months, please follow, because I really want to do it, okay? And I would continue really making the videos and putting effort into them if I see that people are watching and enjoying them. So yes, I think enough talking, okay? Too much blah blah blah. So I wish you a nice day or a beautiful evening whenever you're watching this video. And yeah, hopefully see you next time.